Ladies, let's be real for a second. You want to know the truth. A good man doesn't just stay because of the body.
Nah.
He stays because of how that body makes him feel. And no, I'm not talking about just physical pleasure. I'm talking about emotional elevations, spiritual stimulation. That fire you light inside his soul when he's inside you and you say the right thing, the thing that hits his heart harder than his hips ever could. Let me break it down for you. You want a man to never look at another woman again. Then baby, it's not just about what you do in bed. It's about what you say. Because a man can get sex anywhere. What he can't get is connection, confidence, celebration. That feeling of being seen like a king while he's giving you all of him. So what should you say when it gets real intimate? When it's just the two of you and the lights are low, when he's putting his love inside you? Say something that touches more than just his body. Say something that melts the walls he never even knew he had. Now buckle up, because I got 10 things you can say that will lock his soul to yours. You ready? When a woman looks a man in the eyes in that raw, vulnerable moment and says, I feel so safe with you, it hits different. That ain't just pillow talk, that's soul talk. That's a sentence that reaches down into a man's core and tells him, you matter, you protect, you provide, you create peace where there was once chaos. And trust me, that feeling, that's rarer than beauty. Because beauty fades, but emotional safety, that's forever. See, ladies, men might walk around all day in the world carrying weight they don't speak about. Pressure from work, expectations from family, trauma from the past, and in a world where they're told to man up and never show weakness. And what they crave most, often silently, is to know they're creating a safe haven for the woman they love. When you say you feel safe with him, you're not just complimenting his strength, you're acknowledging his presence. This one sentence validates every unseen thing he's ever done to make your life easier. Every time he locked the door twice, every time he walked you to your car, every moment he swallowed his fear so you didn't have to feel yours. A man who hears, I feel so safe with you. Here's something deeper. I trust you to catch me if I fall. And that right there, that's the blueprint to loyalty. Because when a man feels like he's your protector, he also becomes your builder. He'll protect what he builds and he'll build what he feels valued in. Now don't get it twisted. This isn't about physical strength alone. It's emotional safety too. Can you cry in front of him and not feel judged? Can you admit your insecurities and know he won't weaponize them later? If the answer is yes, then say it. Tell him, let him know, you are the only place I can lay all my pieces down and still feel whole. That line, that'll wrap around his chest like armor. He'll hold on to that long after the moment is over. And the beauty of this phrase is in its timing. When it's said in the heat of passion, when he's inside you, when the world disappears and it's just heartbeats and heavy breathing, that's when it lands with fire. Because he's not just entering your body, he's entering your trust. And when you tell him he makes you feel safe in that space, you're giving him the highest honor a man can receive. You're telling him, you're my shelter. Even in my most vulnerable state, safety isn't a weakness. It's the strongest foundation love can stand on. And when you speak those words, not just with your mouth, but with your energy, your eyes, your tone, you turn sex into sanctuary. You turn a man into a fortress. And baby, a man who becomes your fortress ain't letting nobody else through the gate. When you tell a man, you make me feel like the most beautiful woman in the world, you're doing more than flattering him. You're telling him that his love has transformed the way you see yourself. That's no small thing. That's not about lipstick or curves. That's about presence. That's about the kind of love that lifts a woman higher than her own insecurities. When a man hears that he made you feel beautiful, not society, not a mirror, but him, that's a different level of power he never knew he had. You see, every woman has days when she doubts herself, days when the reflection in the mirror doesn't match the strength in her soul. And a real man, a loving man, has the ability to erase those doubts, not by fixing you, but by seeing you. And when you let him know that he is the one who makes you feel radiant, desired, elegant, wanted, girl, you just spoke to his ego in the most meaningful way. Because it ain't about him being handsome. It's about him being effective at loving you. This phrase lets him know that his words matter. His eyes matter, his attention matters. Men need to know that their love language, whether it's a lingering glance, a soft touch, or a whispered compliment, is being received, that it's working, that it's changing something inside of you. And when you say, you make me feel like the most beautiful woman in the world, what he hears is, your love has power. That makes him want to love you harder, deeper, more intentionally. Way. And let's talk about timing again. When you say this in the middle of intimacy, when your guard is down and your soul is open, it sends chills. You're not just naked physically, way, you're emotionally exposed. And when you use that moment to tell him he makes you feel beautiful, it turns the whole experience from physical to unforgettable. Away. It's like giving him a mirror to his own masculinity, reflecting back not just who he is, but what he does for you. This isn't about false praise either. Way. This ain't about saying it just to keep the peace. This is about meaning it. This is about looking him in the eye and letting your voice tremble a little when you say, away. You make me feel like I'm the only woman in the world. And even if you've had your battles with self-worth, your scars, away your doubts, when you tell him that his love makes you feel whole and radiant, you give him a reason to keep showing up, to keep choosing you, way, to keep feeding that fire between you two. Because the truth is, every man wants to be the one who unlocks your glow, who pulls the goddess out of you. Way. And when you give him that credit, when you say, it's because of how you love me that I walk taller, smile bigger, feel sexier, you do more than speak to his pride. You speak to his purpose. And a man with purpose, he doesn't stray, he stays. When you tell a man, away. No one has ever made me feel like this. You're not just complimenting his moves. You're affirming his impact. You're saying he's unforgettable. Away. You're saying that whatever he's doing emotionally, physically, spiritually, is touching parts of you that no one else has ever reached. That line right there. Oh, away. That'll stop a man in his tracks, because now he knows he's not just different. He's rare. And baby, every man wants to be rare in the eyes of the woman he loves. Way. Men don't always say it, but they wonder. They wonder if they measure up, if they're enough, if you've had better, if someone before him made you feel more. Way. And when you give him this gift, when you tell him no one has ever made you feel the way he does, it silences all that noise. It assures him that right here, in this moment, way. He's the one setting the bar. He's not competing with ghosts from your past. He's making history in your present. This statement hits deeper than just the bedroom. Sure, it can be said during intimacy, and when it is, well, it lights the room on fire. But it also works in those quiet moments too, when he holds you after a long day. Way, when he remembers your favorite snack without asking, when he kisses your forehead like you're made of glass. Those little things that build big emotion, that's when you whisper, away. No one's ever made me feel like this. That's when he realizes, damn, I'm doing something right. It's not about exaggeration, it's about emotional truth. Maybe he's not the richest, maybe he's not the smoothest, but he's real, he shows up, he makes your soul sit up straighter. And when you let him know that, when you say, away, you reach places in me I didn't even know needed touching. You're not just talking about your body, you're talking about your heart. And that makes a man want to go even deeper, give you more of himself. Every man wants to leave a legacy. Some think that means money or reputation, but the real ones, they want to leave fingerprints on your spirit. When you say, no one has ever made me feel like this, what you're telling him is you are etched into my story. Away, you're telling him he's not a moment, he's a shift. You're not just turned on, you're transformed. And once a man knows he has that effect on you, away, he won't want to lose it. He'll protect it. Don't just say it, feel it. When you say it, look at him like he's the only man who's ever mattered. Let your tone carry the awe, the gratitude, the surprise, because this is more than lust. This is legacy. This is love that lingers. Way. And when he knows he's the first to make you feel like this, even if he wasn't your first, he'll fight to be your forever. Away. There's something magnetic, something transformational about a woman looking at her man with sincerity in her eyes and warmth in her voice and saying, away, I'm so proud of the man you are. That one sentence, it feeds something in him deeper than desire. It nourishes his identity, because no matter how tough he may seem, no matter how confident he appears to the world, inside every man is a boy who still wonders, am I doing enough? Am I good enough? Am I becoming the man I was born to be? Way. When you tell a man you're proud of him, you do something that most of the world never does. You acknowledge his journey. You're not just praising what he's achieved, but who he's becoming, and that means everything. Most men carry their burdens silently. They face battles daily, pressure to perform, to lead, to be strong. And in the middle of all that noise, your voice, the voice of the woman he loves, becomes his reassurance, his motivation, his soft place to land. And here's the key. Way! You're not saying you're proud because he's perfect. You're proud of the man he is in progress. The man who tries, who grows, who shows up even when it's hard. Away, that kind of pride isn't based on his job title, his income, or how many people respect him on the outside. It's based on how he treats you, how he carries himself. Way, how he owns his mistakes, protects his people, and keeps his integrity intact, even when nobody's watching. That's the kind of man who needs to hear that he's seen. Now imagine this moment he's holding you close, y'all are in the heat of passion, or maybe you're just resting together afterward. He's vulnerable, open, quiet. And you lean in, stroke his back, and whisper, I'm so proud of the man you are. That right there, that turns the moment from sensual to sacred. Because now it's not just physical connection, it's affirmation. And affirmation is intimacy's greatest fuel. That's the kind of love that makes a man want to build, protect, and never stray. And don't underestimate the impact of how you say it. Look him in the eye. Let him feel the weight of your words. Because when a man knows you see beyond what he does into who he is, he starts to see himself through your eyes. That's powerful. That changes how he walks through the world. It's one thing to be desired. It's another thing entirely to be respected. And when your desire includes your respect, oh baby, that's how you keep him mentally, emotionally, and physically locked in. So speak life into your man. Let your pride be the wind beneath his ambition. Let your words remind him that he doesn't have to become someone else to earn your love. He just has to keep being the man he already is, the man you see, the man you chose. The man you'll keep choosing, not because he's perfect, but because he's yours. That's the kind of validation that makes a man not just stay, but thrive. When a woman says to a man, I trust you completely, it's not just words, it's a gift. And not just any gift, it's the kind that feels like a crown. Because trust is not handed out easily. It's not given just because someone shows up. Trust is earned. It's built brick by brick over time with consistency, honesty, and presence. So when you look at your man and tell him that you trust him fully, you're saying, I see who you are and I believe in what you'll do even when I'm not looking. That kind of trust is rare. In a world where betrayal is common and honesty feels like a luxury, telling a man you trust him completely is like planting your flag. You're saying, I've chosen you and I'm not holding back. And when a man hears that, really hears it, it does something to him. It tells him he's safe with you too. That you're not watching his every move with suspicion, that he doesn't have to prove himself every second just to earn peace in the relationship and that freedom. That's the foundation of loyalty. And don't mistake this for weakness. Telling a man you trust him doesn't mean you're naive or blind. It means you're brave. It means you've opened your heart without fear. And when you open your heart and say, I trust you, what you're doing is creating space for emotional intimacy to deepen. Because when trust exists, love can expand. Vulnerability can breathe. You stop surviving love and start experiencing it fully, completely, unapologetically. Now let's take this into the bedroom. Imagine you're in that moment with him. He's close, you're intertwined, breathless, present. And you lean in, pull him close, and whisper, I trust you completely. That ain't just sexy, that's sacred. Because now he knows you're not just giving him your body, you're giving him your heart. You're saying, I'm not guarded, I'm not doubting, I'm right here wide open, believing in you. And that makes a man want to give everything back to you with no hesitation. Men aren't used to hearing that kind of affirmation. They're used to being doubted, second-guessed, questioned, compared. So when he hears you say you trust him with your soul, your space, your softness, it tells him he's earned something priceless. It tells him that even though the world may not trust him to lead, to love, to protect, you do. And that belief, that's rocket fuel to a man's confidence. That's what makes him want to rise even higher, just so he keeps earning that trust again and again. And the truth is, trust builds a bond stronger than lust. Lust might spark the flame, but trust keeps it burning. And when you make him feel like your safe place is with him, like he's the one who holds your emotional weight with care, he'll protect you like treasure. Because a woman who trusts a man fully, she doesn't just make love, she creates legacy. And that queen is the kind of connection no other woman can touch. When you tell a man, love how you take your time with me, you're not just talking about his patience, you're honoring his presence. You're letting him know that you see how he slows down, not just to please you, but to understand you, that you notice how he doesn't rush through moments like they're tasks, but instead moves with intention, like he's savoring an experience that means something. And in a world obsessed with speed, that kind of slowness is sacred. It tells him that being with you isn't a race, it's a rhythm. Men aren't always told they're doing it right. They hear what's wrong, what's missing, what they're not doing enough of. But when you affirm the way he moves with you, whether it's how he kisses you slowly, undresses you gently, or even holds your hand like he's holding something valuable, you're giving him feedback he won't forget. You're saying, you don't just touch me, you read me. That praise will replay in his mind long after the night is over. And that memory, it becomes his motivation to stay devoted. Stay focused and keep bringing that same energy. This isn't just about sex, it's about presence. When a man takes his time with you, he's saying, away. You're worth more than a quick moment. He's listening to your breathing, noticing your reactions, feeling the emotional temperature of the moment. Way. And when you tell him you love that, when you say, that right there is what I've been craving, you let him know that patience is passion and attention is the new aphrodisiac. Way. Suddenly, he's not just a lover, he's an artist painting on the canvas of your comfort. And during intimacy, timing is everything. When you look at him, breath heavy, eyes locked, heart open, and whisper, I love how you take your time with me, you give him something no performance could ever replace: reverence. That moment becomes more than physical, it becomes a memory, because now he's not just focused on pleasure, he's focused on presence. And when a man feels like he's making you feel seen, not just sexy, he becomes addicted to making you feel that way again and again. You're also telling him something deeper. When you say this, you're telling him that you're not in a rush to escape his touch. Away, that you trust him enough to surrender to the moment, that he's not just there to get what he wants, he's there because you want this experience with him. Way, that level of emotional invitation, that's how you keep him mentally and emotionally tied to you, because you're not just reacting, you're inviting. You're co-creating intimacy that lingers. And let's be honest, anyone can do fast, but only the right one knows how to slow it down, knows how to explore, learn, anticipate. Way. And when you celebrate that slowness with words like, I love how you take your time with me, you make him feel chosen, you make him feel masterful. Way. And once a man feels masterful in loving you, he doesn't go looking for applause somewhere else. He's already getting the loudest ovation from the only woman he wants to impress. So ladies, hear me when I say this, it's not just about what you do between the sheets. It's about what you say in the silence. What you whisper when your heart is open and your guard is down, that's the real power, because men can find sex anywhere, but soul connection, that's rare. Way. And when you use your voice to speak love, to speak trust, to speak life into that man while you're wrapped around him, he's not just having a moment, he's being marked by you. Away. You're not just his woman, you're his peace, his mirror, his motivation. When you say the kind of words we've talked about tonight, the ones that lift him, calm him, way, claim him, he ain't gonna want to hear another woman's voice because yours will already be echoing in his heart. That's how you keep him faithful, not by fear, not by control, but by connection. And let me tell you something, a real man doesn't just want a beautiful body. He wants a woman who sees his soul and still wants more. Way. A woman who makes him feel like a king, not just because he conquered the night, because he conquered your trust. That's deeper than lust. That's legacy. Away. So next time he's holding you close, looking in your eyes, giving you all of him, don't just lay there quiet. Open your mouth, open your heart. Away. And speak the kind of words that make a man never forget where home is. Let your love be loud. Let your truth be tender. Let your voice be the thing he carries with him. Way, long after the lights go out. Because when a woman knows what to say in that moment, oh baby, she becomes unforgettable. Not because she was the baddest in the room, but because she spoke to him in a language no other woman ever learned, to speak the language of soul, deep, heart-led, grown-ass love. And that kind of love. Way, that's where forever starts.